p.m. We'll start off with the roll call tonight. Or call to order, then the Pledge of Allegiance, I'm sorry. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now we'll have the roll call.
Hayward,
Yes.
Rickrell,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Alinger. Yes. Bennett.
Is she on?
She's on here.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Can I get a motion for approval of the,
So moved. Approval of the agenda.
okay, we had a motion by
Colister.
Colister, seconded by Hayward. Do you have any discussion? Take the roll.
Rickrell,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Hayward.
Yes.
Okay, next we make it to presentations, and tonight it'll be the Jackson County Fairgrounds Partnership Appreciation, so please come up.
My attire, but I've been cleaning signs all day. I just want to thank all of you for the fireworks display, the money you put toward the fireworks on Tuesday. It was so successful. They were wonderful, and it didn't matter where people were on the midway, they stopped to look, and we've had lots of positive comments on that. And, you know, 7,500 and some people were there to see the fireworks, and it was very well received. So all I'm saying is thank you, and I'm hoping that we can keep a partnership and maybe do some kind of a campaign to raise money for those and continue to do those on the Tuesday of the fair. It's all about community, and it brought community together. It was free. Nobody had to pay anything. They came, maybe kids enjoyed rides, got a funnel cake, had a beverage here and there, but ultimately, the whole thing about fair is community, and it pulled the community together. And I just need to say that the board and association very much appreciates the money that you gave for us to be able to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Terry.
Anybody else wish to get up and talk to the council? Last chance.
Mayor, we have to close presentations.
Okay. All right. Now we'll move on to public participation. Does anybody wish to get up and address the council? I got one coming here.
Starting my 3 minutes. All right, here we go again. My name is Elias Langlois, and I am a resident of Maquoketa. On July 30th, I went to my mailbox, and I proceeded to open my water bill from the city. I was shocked to find propaganda related to this data center delusion that Josh Bolt and potentially members of our own council are trying to shove down our throats. In this document, there were 0 sources cited and no links attached for us to verify the claims. And to quote our own mayor, if you quote any facts, you need to be able to tell us where we can prove those facts. Once again, you are not coming to the table with verifiable facts. Yet you require a higher standard from your citizens. And to that I say, how dare you? This is only my second council meeting I've ever attended in my life. I only needed to attend once to experience and see the we are better than you attitude that the mayor, some of the council, and Josh Bolt exhibit to the people they are supposed to serve. I sense no empathy from you. Instead, I sense no regard for the well-being or concerns of any of your townspeople. Instead of compassion, we are met with patronizing attitudes. Instead of genuine concern, we are met with boredom. Instead of being inquisitive, we are restricted to a hard 3 minutes of speaking and then cut off. Make no mistake, we do not want a data center in Maquoketa. What we do want is to be able to trust our elected leaders, to have the people's best interest at heart, and to listen to us. We want transparency. We want to be confident that our leaders are not having closed-door meetings, drafting plans, shaking hands, and signing deals in the dead of night behind our back. Deals that make our city manager, Josh Bolt, look good in the press as he rides off into the sunset with his new job while leaving the citizens of Maquoketa to deal with the ramifications of this disastrous plan. I do believe that some of you sitting before me today have elevated yourselves to a position that you do not belong. You have forgotten or have chosen to ignore how the system works. Consider this a brief refresher. We, the people, are your boss. You serve us at our good pleasure. You do the will of the people or face the consequences at the polls. When the people's voice is ignored and consequences are not thought of, the question must be asked, where is the corruption happening? Who has been corrupted or bought out? In conclusion, with 30 seconds left, unfortunately, it really pains me. Until he stops spearheading this campaign, this short-sighted data center plan, we demand Josh Bolt resign or be relieved from his duties by the council. If he chooses to pull back from this deal, we will cease our calls for his resignation or removal. We demand a minimum of a 1-year moratorium on this data center plan. We demand you put together a panel that includes experts in their fields as well as common citizens to truly investigate the potential impacts of a data center on our community. God bless the people of Maquoketa, and God destroy anyone who would do the people harm. Amen.
Okay, anybody else want to get up and talk to the council?
Hi again, I'm Chris. I want to thank you all about the fireworks. They were awesome, and a lot of people enjoyed them. And I've been talking to a lot of people about the data centers, and the first thing that comes up is, why won't they let us vote on it? So why won't you? I think it's our right to do that. Thank you very much. That's all they're concerned about. They want to take a vote. So will you let us take a vote before you make any decisions? No answers. That's funny. Okay. Okay, people's quality of life was mentioned. Haven't heard or read any statements about our health, cancer, asthma, cardio issues. Haven't heard you talk about those. We heard you talk about the water, even though I kind of don't believe a lot of that. Why haven't we heard about the health issues? Has anybody investigated those? Probably not. Headaches, seizures, that's right. Who do we go to if we find a lot of health issues among our people in Maquoketa here? If we start having more health issues, who do we go to for that issue? Do we go to the data center, or do we come here to City Hall and sue the city? What do we do? It's too late then because it's already up and running. That's really sad. You're going to put this data center in front of everybody's health. That's not right. I wanted to address too, last time I was up here, the mayor was very, very rude. And I didn't deserve it, and neither does any of these people. Rudeness just don't need to happen. We're here to talk about it. And it's my right to talk about it. Isn't that right, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you have a copy of the ordinance draft? Anybody? How come? How come we haven't seen anything about it? Can we read it?
We don't have anything further since the last time we talked at all. It's-
There's been nothing come
Nothing
across our desk.
So when you talked to the developer, did you make an end time to where you want to make your final decisions? Is there a date on that?
we don't have a draft contract right now that, we're ready
Well,
to present whatsoever, so.
I think it was a
Chris, if you may, really quick.
You're taking my
This-
3 minutes.
I understand. Why don't you put a pause on that time limit, to be fair, just like some others,
All right,
okay?
I'll do that, yeah.
The question and answer to the council, I know that's not a popular statement, but just like this agenda here where there's a public hearing involving an exchange of real estate, any potential next step would have the exact same read on an agenda and be available for everyone to review. And we are just simply not there yet because we are, in fact, very early in the know. So I plead with you to understand
I'm
just how
trying to.
early we are.
I'm trying to, really. But the thing is, we can't understand anything if we're not told anything. And a lot of the people are saying, we don't know anything because they're not telling us anything. So that's why there's a lot of rumors going around. There's a lot of concerns going around that probably don't need to be. But if you guys had just let us know, because we know there's a lot of crap going on behind our back too. Now,
You're
I
at
think it
3
was,
minutes. You're at 3 minutes, a little over.
And Chris, sorry, address please, and
everybody knows my address, look it up. I said it last time too. That's private information.
Tim Cottle, 506 North Arcade Street, here in Maquoketa. I've sent each of you a letter personally, each of you, via email to your email addresses, so you know where I stand. I look for us to have the citizens of Maquoketa make the final definition of what this is and isn't. A moratorium is the preferred method, but at least have an election of a couple of council members and the next mayor before we make this decision. It's a citywide decision. I'm not anti-data center, I'm not pro-data center. I'm not anti-economic development or 100% pro-economic development. I've been in all the fields, as my email I've got a lot of experience in all of this. I do understand your pressures for tax base, and I see why you're looking at it. I honest to God do. But if we took all of this energy to find another way to come up with this tax base and including jobs on that property, it might benefit all of us. I'm just saying might, because I don't know. I don't know how hard we've looked at it. I don't know what JCA's done with it. That said, it appears the decision's been made because we got the letter that was referred to. I can see why it was looked at as propaganda. There was a lot of things in there said that I don't know how they could be said if we didn't have an identified prospective person, or Gronin did, and it doesn't matter. If Gronin's doing it, we're doing wordplay. But somehow or another, we're down the road a lot further than I think we are. We just don't have a contract in place or even written out. So that being said, I got a couple statements, and one is just perception. So on the docket was an MMEU board member not living in Maquoketa. Now, they're the ones that are gonna set the rates for all electricity, including the data center. That's just a poor look, even if they're a Jackson County resident. It's just a poor look. Second, Kevin resigned 2 weeks ago. At large, city of Maquoketa at large. And we're gonna appoint it. Same time we're discussing the data center. Would not an election work for that?
Well, that hasn't
And
been
if-
decided either. It
Okay,
could be
so,
appointed or it could be a special
okay,
election.
so my preference would be an election, because now the city can at least vote once, because I'm sure that the data center will come up as one of the items they're gonna be campaigning on. Now, I do have questions if we go forward, and I want to get quick because I'm going to run out of my 3 minutes. But if it's a done deal, so to speak, not done, but no one knows the end user. That's the number one concern by everybody. Will the final development agreement mandate joint and several liability between any shell and the ultimate end user? These big data companies run all kinds of shell agreement and behind the scenes and then leave everybody else to mess. Now I get cut off.
Thank you. Anybody else? State your name and your address, please.
My name is Kelly Deere.
Okay.
I live at 306 South Eliza Street. And I am here to say I am against the data center. I came here from Dubuque to escape all of this mess that's happening in Dubuque and been happening in Dubuque for years. And I thought this was going to be a great move to the small town who's keeping their small things that everybody loves. And then all of a sudden I hear there's a data center being built less than half a mile from my house, or being considered. I've done a lot of research on it, and nothing good I've ever heard. And every day they're finding out new things that aren't good things. That's why I don't understand, well, that is why I understand they are being rushed through, because they're trying to rush them in before they find out so many things that people have something to stand on to really not have them be put in. But as far as messing with the Jordan Aquifer and our water, as far as messing with our little electrical here, which is just an extreme blessing that the people here, I don't even think realize it, coming from Dubuque. You mess with the electrical and their bills are gonna triple for sure, at least. I've seen a line energy trucks driving around here lately, and I'm praying to God that they're not gonna start changing our electric, because that's a big thing. And then talk about the moratorium, because in Dubuque, it kept being said that nothing was being considered about data centers. And then some things were posted, and all of a sudden they found out there had been. So behind closed doors, things had been being done. And just like you, Mayor, wanting to have more information, and we'd like more information, that's where the moratorium came in and was a great thing to give time to people on both sides to find out the pros and cons of it and then come together about it. Rushing it through definitely is not a good thing. It's not fair to the people at all. It might work on your side if you have other things going on that we don't know about, but it gives people time to find out more and present things more instead of rushing it through. And lastly, the godfather of AI says himself that we should all be very afraid of AI. They don't even know exactly everything about it and how it works. So sacrificing this small town and all their beliefs and everything that they hold true to give to a company that's like come and force everything on them is very unfair.
Jody Cottle, 506 North Arcade. Just going to finish the questions off. If nothing else, something for you to think about. Will the city require a signed binding parent company guarantee as a mandatory prerequisite for a proven utility hookup? Since no operator has been publicly identified, how will the city ensure the anonymous end user is vetted for past environmental and water violations before the land is sold? Will the city mandate a third-party environmental performance bond paid for by the developer that cannot be dissolved if the LLC goes bankrupt? And will the developer and end user be required to post an environmental escrow account or performance bond before construction begins? Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
My name is Dee Dig. I live on North 2nd Street, Maquoketa. We are Maquoketa. We are one of a kind, and we wish to remain one of a kind. These are the people of the community. We are the community. We are the people. And you have all broken our trust in you. We trusted you to inform us not to hold secret meetings for a year behind our backs and then bring it to us, when you're probably about to seal the deal, from what I've heard from the Telegraph Herald. If you feel a data center is the best that you can do, then maybe it's time for y'all to resign and step down from your positions. And let us vote on new leaders that will not hold meetings behind our back, but keep us informed and work harder at bringing other development into our town, such as more businesses, factories, and work harder at doing that, because data centers are not the answer. They're the poison of the earth. And hopefully we bring in new leaders. They will decide if we, the people, the community, the people who make Maquoketa, you people up there, and you do not make Maquoketa, we do. It's here because of us, not because of you 6 or 7 people. A handful of people should not have the right to bring in a data center without getting the community's vote.
Okay, anybody else?
Hi, I'm Rick Daly, 210 West Summit. I noticed something in the minutes here, and I'm not sure if this is gonna be under old business or whatever, but I was looking at this, talking about changing the utility board. And I'm wondering, why do we want to change the utility board to allow a Jackson County resident to be on a city board?
Because we don't have any city people want to sign up for it.
Well, it's I not a- didn't know there
It's
was
not a
a,
done deal, and it was a request by MMEU.
it
They
just,
have to
it-
come to us to ask that, to have that happen.
I just, and it, of course, you know, it might be because of the paranoia I've been building up or whatever. But I've noticed it's kind of strange that it's happening right now, a utilities commission position.
It's gone for quite some time with an unfilled spot.
There's no
not
coincidence.
Yeah, well, I hadn't
They
noticed
wanna
anything
keep-
until I read it in the minutes.
Okay.
You
They
know,
have to ask us to change the board, and,
you know,
I
and
mean, the
it's just-
timing obviously seems suspect, but they can't do anything without coming to the council first.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering why the county wouldn't want to do something for a county commission and leave the city commission to do the city commission business.
Yeah, that's their request.
Yeah.
It wasn't brought up by the city. It's a request by MMEU.
Well, I'd like for you to take that in consideration before you do that vote. All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Is there anybody else?
Got one on the line, Mayor.
What, okay,
Got one coming here.
Hello,
go ahead.
my name's Lisa Hupp. I live at 314 South Main Street. And I wanted to, I'm wondering,
Excuse me, we've got one on the,
What?
on the internet.
can you hear me okay?
Oh.
Hang on, Lisa, one
Pardon
second.
me.
All right, if you'd start over again?
Me?
Yes,
Me?
yes.
Yes, Lisa.
Okay. All right, thank you. My name's Lisa Hupp. I live at 314 South Main Street. And I wanted to, put out there, if there is something that, we can agree upon. I understand that everybody needs the assurance of income. I understand you want to be funded for the next 5 or 10 years. However, I think that maybe there should be questions about how we can invest in this town as the people, put it to the people, how we would be willing to invest in our town. Very unpopular choices, of course. I don't know what's legal. I don't know how it all works. But if you need money, if the town needs money and to secure funding and revenue, then why not ask us, how are you willing to invest to hold this off? Hold the data center off, because once this thing is up and operating, there's no taking it or its damage back. And I'm surprised that in a small town, people who say they love it here would be so quick to make such a big, potentially dangerous and unsafe decision for the good of this town. I would think that you would want to ask people, hey, maybe pay a little bit more sales tax, maybe pay a little bit more this, maybe a little bit more that. Maybe we should start looking at other businesses that have inquired about that land. I don't know. I'm not a city administrator. But I also know that I've lived here 5 years, and I haven't heard that question posed to us. And I would like that conversation to begin. If it's true that no decisions have been made and no deals have been made, and if that's true, then in good faith, I would think we can open up that conversation in good faith. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Thank you. All right, is there anybody else?
Yes.
Hello. Hello, my name is Amy from Maquoketa.
We're gonna
I
need
just
your- we're
moved
gonna-
here,
We're gonna need your last name too, for the record.
Redden.
Reading, okay.
I just moved here 2 years ago. I live in a side-by-side home. The gentleman that lives next to me says he's pretty involved with the doings, and he guaranteed me that this was a long way off. Now I just hear tonight that you're going to be selling the land. Aaron Brockovich stated in June of 2026 that there is a lot of things involved with this. The building is secret. No one really knows who the builders are. We find our own landscaping and building, electricity. It put them to work. The employees inside the building are fired, let go. There are only 2 or 3 people. The data centers take care of themselves, and that's it. And then we are left up to the loud humming, nauseating. We're left to the night lights. The water is drained dry till we get dry dust. Let's see. Water, light. The noise is unbelievable. It's a slow hum. Some children have been seizures where people have had to just walk out of their homes and leave them. The seizures have lessened when people move away. I'm not sure where you are with buying this, but please take it into consideration. This is a dangerous situation. Who knows, 15, 20 years, we're gonna find out who's really behind this, what it's really all about, who's benefiting and who's not. I've asked my next door neighbor if, they've wined and dined you. Money under the table, why, that's no such thing. No one would ever do that. How dare they? I'll beat them up myself. So I don't know. I'm just upset. I'm torn. Do I move away now? Do I put my house up for sale? And do I leave? I really don't want to. I want to live in peace. I want to have my family come and visit me when I am ready. But I can't do it with a town like this. I can't.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Carr, 119 South Vermont Street. I wasn't even here for this tonight. I was here for something else. But I'll give a positive comment. Thank you again, like I've said in the past, thank you for all the work that you have put into this. If you need to know anything, all you have to do is open up the newspaper. The Maquoketa newspaper has had a lot of good articles. They spell it all out. Yes, we've gotten stuff in the mail. It spells it all out, answers a lot of questions. So I'm not understanding a lot of the negativity. So far, my observation is the only rudeness has come from the negative people. Let's keep it more positive. And the other thing I've been a little confused on is the whole Maquoketa one of a kind. Our name is one of a kind. Yes, we have a nice city, but we're not one of a kind city. We have a McDonald's, we have a Dollar General, we have a Dollar Tree. So I don't quite understand some of those signs. Anyway, thank you for all your work. You guys do answer all the questions in the articles, in the paper, in the papers that are sent in the mail. It's been a lot of work. You have done your homework, and thank you. There's a lot of us that say thank you.
Thank you. All right, anybody else?
Hi, my name is Jeff Hahn. I live at 220 North Arcade Street. Howdy, neighbor. Wow, there's a lot of different people here today from all over town, and different classes and different everythings, and I think we all have, you know, the same thing to say, a little bit more politely than others, but, yeah, I don't understand what the power company, or not the power company, what my water bill has to do with data centers, and why, there's talk about data centers coming in my water bill. I'd, you know, appreciate it from now on if that information is disseminated through something else, the city of Maquoketa, perhaps, and not my water bill. Doesn't make any and all sense to me whatsoever. A lot of those questions, like a lot of those things in that paper, like other people have stated, I thought was kind of not really backed up by anything. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of anything backed up in there. I'd appreciate it also if, you know, you guys really, really thought about this. Like, we don't even know who the end user is going to be, so I'm just a dumb redneck that works on trucks every day. I can tell you all about a DD15 and a DD16, but I don't understand how this works. So a developer wants to buy a chunk of land, he wants to develop it, right? He wants to develop it for a data center, is that right? And then we don't know who's gonna come in and work the data center, or who's gonna operate it?
So that's ultimately, in short, a yes. You know, what the developer would tell you, and it's going to sound salesy, is it could be any other version of a heavy industrial use too if the industry goes kaput 3 years from now. So that's what's being talked about right now, but it could be a number of different factory uses or warehousing.
So this developer is just like basically raring to go, though. I mean, he wants to sell you guys this because that's where his money's going to come from, right?
That's what's being talked about right now.
So we're not actually talking to an end user.
Not at all. I understand why that. I do. I do.
You can see my brain working behind me, like that doesn't make
what I would tell you, that's not uncommon though. I'm serious. Construction companies, developers, they buy up options and then they file something called a MISO fee. That's the electrical grid. It's a $500,000 application actually. And then at that point, an end user will usually be paired with a project potentially like ours, or one that's much, much bigger. It's the same thing happened in Dubuque with Karis Development. So, I mean, none of your comments are off at all about the confusion about, well, tell us who the end user is. Well, they don't know and I don't know. So we're in standby.
So what happens at that point? We say, okay, go ahead and develop this, but we're, you know, not quite there on a data center yet, right?
Sure.
So he goes ahead and develops it. He takes I'm in front of people, I shouldn't swear, one heck of a gamble, right? And then, you know, data center guy comes in. Is it up to us, I mean, you guys, to say, hey, these are the things we're putting in place. This is what is allowable. This is not what's allowable. Take it or leave it. Is that how that works?
Effectively, in short, yes. That's part of the controls that our council has within approving a real estate contract, is what are some of these guarantees that we're interested in. You see that in a number of different forms in other cities. This entire area is heavy industrial zoning, which I've leaned on personally, as you know. But again, going back to being very critical of any sort of real estate exchange document, I don't have one yet that's ready for presentation. They've never seen one. And all these questions that you have, very valid. My first big question is adaptive reuse. I think that's
what?
Adaptive reuse, meaning if it goes up or if the business, you know, the technology changes where a big building then suddenly is obsolete 5 years from now, what do we do then? So, you know, I'm not ignorant to these questions, and I intend to put forth at least something that makes sense given everything we've heard, and I expect that all the public will be able to view it as soon as we get to a point that it's ready for observation. I don't have a timeline right now. That's one of the things Chris asked me, is I don't have a timeline. Would rather it be sooner rather than later for the purpose of settling some anxiety. I believe in that, but we're not there. So good questions, good comments, but I don't have an end user. They don't have an end user, and nothing in front of the council or in front of me has developed past any point than you've known from the last meeting or two. So I don't know what else I can add to this, but you're not wrong.
Okay. I'm sure my 3 minutes are about up, but I would like, as many others have stated, those fireworks were awesome. Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, anybody else? Last chance.
There's one online.
Okay.
Derek, go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon. I just wanted to get on to Zoom and talk to you guys about this data center that's supposedly going on. I work on data center sites, and they use a lot of water, electricity, and they're a total waste to the environment. And they will suck up a river drier than anything else. And I know I'm originally from Maquoketa, and I still got family back there, and a lot of people are going to be discouraged and upset that the rivers and the ponds and wells and everything are going to be sucked up dry because of this data center. And the people in Maquoketa are going to end up having to pay for this through the water bills, electricity bills, taxes, you name it. So I don't think it's a good set for Maquoketa to even have a data center around town, because it's going to put a damper on Maquoketa big time. And because I've been around data centers, and I've talked to people, and these data centers, what people don't realize that they basically steal people's personal information and sell it outright without people even knowing about it. And the city of Maquoketa really needs to sit and think what direction they want the city of Maquoketa to actually go, because it's like I said, it's gonna upset a whole lot of people if the town goes ghost and people start moving out of town. So I just wanted to put my input on here and let you guys know that I don't think it's right for Maquoketa to have a data center at all.
Hey, Derek, real quick, can you offer your address for the record, please?
Yeah, I'm down here in Arizona. I don't know if that makes a bit of a difference. It's
Makes a big difference.
1271 East Dust Devil Drive, Santan Valley, Arizona.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, anybody else? Anybody else on Zoom? Okay, I guess we'll move on. Next, we have a public hearing. It's a public hearing on August 3rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. on the proposed purchase of real estate from the United Church of Christ in Jackson County, Iowa, generally described as parcels 145-1819-30200-100 and parcel number 145-1819-30200-200 in the total amount of $62,500. Is there anything you need to add to it, Josh?
I prepared some written commentary on this. I would just underscore the points that we've discussed as council, the need for larger east side parking, especially for when we have larger events, Fireball Summer Concert Series, Farmers Market. We had a very busy July 6th council meeting where there wasn't as much parking available for that event. There's about 8,800 cars that travel by here on average per day total. Did have a certain authorization to work with these potential two properties together to expand our footprint on that corner for either parking or some other mixed use. I don't have a finite plan right now, but I would consider this a wise investment, honestly. But John does not have a parking lot quote either, so I don't want to sit here and pretend like 105,000 is what you're getting, or that we're taking a parking lot with weeds growing out of it with no good base. There's going to be investment involved with this if you wish to make it a parking lot too. So I do want to underscore the points, though, where did this money come from? And it comes from our general fund CIP that is owned by the department heads and taxpayers and council, where there's about $3 million in an account split up between the departments, and we have short-term fixed income investments that accrue interest for special projects. For example, we had 139,000 come in for last fiscal year, and we have about 480 total in the balance. So I do want to let you know that acquisition of this property didn't occur with any extra taxation on any taxpayer, resident, or business, and that this is cash that came from department head CIPs beyond what you normally handle. So any questions, I'd be happy to take them. Otherwise, this is a public hearing where plenty of people can offer input if they have it.
Anybody have anything? Anybody in the audience? You have to, ma'am, you have to come up to the podium.
Don't you already have a parking lot up the street here that you have for sale?
This is the one that we're potentially looking to acquire.
It's been empty for a long time,
Yes,
right up on the corner of Platt and the street right out here.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else?
Motion to close the public hearing.
Okay, we got a motion by Lyon to close the public hearing, seconded by Alinger. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Brick
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Hayward.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. We move on to item B, which is a public hearing on August 3rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. on the proposed purchase of real estate from Cornell Property LLC in Jackson County, Iowa, generally described as parcel number 145-18193020050, and that's going to be in the amount of $42,500. Go ahead, Josh.
I don't have a ton of further comment on this, but this is 105 South Olive Street. It's actually a residence here. I failed to mention at the last one that we're conducting a phase 1 environmental assessment, which protects you in case you do find out there's some issue that you're grant eligible in the future. You see some cities forego that process and not be grant eligible through the EPA or Brownsfield after the fact, and 2 out of 3 of those are being paid for by the EPA and ECIA. So assuming that there's no issues with those phase 1s, laundromats, gas stations, those sorts of things, and assuming you pass the resolutions later, we'll move towards closing. But otherwise, again, it's just a public hearing item. If there's comment, I'm happy to take it.
Any comment from the audience?
So I don't want to look like an idiot, but I do want to ask a really simple question, because in normal life, when I don't have a lot of money, I don't spend a lot of money. Otherwise, what happens? I go into debt. When you go into debt, you get in big problems. Ends in bankruptcy, ends in all sorts of big problems. Part of what I'm trying to ask is, when you're talking about, part of what you guys are looking for with this data center thing is you want revenue. Because like, what I'm understanding is the coffers are going dry. Like, we're gonna have to fire police officers, we're gonna have to lay off city employees. Like, that's what you literally said last meeting, I do believe. If we apply what I do in my civilian life to the city, why is the city, when you're saying the coffers are going dry and we're gonna have to lay off people, we're having hard conversations, why is the city spending more money? That doesn't make any sense to me. Be curious what your answer is.
Okay, is there anybody else?
Was there an answer? Or do I have to stand here for a conversation? Sorry, I would like an answer.
I don't know if I heard a question there, but it's a good.
So the question is,
Elias.
Sorry, go ahead.
You had a number of good comments to make regarding a budget, and they each are very well versed in the city budget and why or why not this may make sense in the future for them. I know you're looking at me.
Yep.
I can only take this so far.
Yep.
It's their decision in the rest of this agenda.
So maybe the question is for you guys then. Here's the question. If I, as a civilian, have to balance a checkbook, not overspend or there's consequences. And I hear Josh saying that it seems like maybe we haven't done that in Maquoketa very well. I've heard of several projects, the hospital, like there's some things that have happened that have maybe not been good for our budget, not been good for our checkbooks. So here's the question. Why do I have to do that in my civilian life, but the city of Maquoketa does not have to do that? And we're literally talking about buying more property. How does that help our budget deficits? How does that help Josh with his conversation with his conversations with his employees, talking about laying them off? Like, that's my question. Does it make sense?
We do have to balance a budget every year. We can't just go in debt.
Nope. We gotta turn one.
So you're saying never develop or never invest in the city again?
Nope. I'm
Well,
tying
that's
it
what
into
I'm
the, I'm
getting from
tying
your
it into this
question.
data center thing.
I get that.
We're
But you
looking
still
for
have
more
to
revenue.
create revenue, need a bigger tax base. This is an investment in hopefully getting to grow something in that spot. So if I look at it from you, you're saying that we should never invest in the city or find ways to find developmental places in the city that are in a good location that could become a great opportunity for the city in the future at minimal dollars.
I'm not necessarily saying that. I do believe in investments. I do
But
believe in
that's
wise.
what this is. To me, that's what this is. This is an investment.
But when Josh is talking about having hard conversations with employees and potentially having to lay off employees or police officers or other public officials,
But that also comes back to that tax base there. So in order to develop that and grow, we have to buy property and do things on the chance that we can sell it or in the hope that we can develop that property to create tax base. You want that property to be saved for tax base, right? And not a data center because it doesn't meet your needs there. But here they're looking at an investment in a prime area downtown that could be used for economic development. And I understand what you're saying, but this is a good investment for the city at a very reasonable cost. And that's where I think that makes the difference between what you're asking out there and what this is.
thank you for answering the question.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I just wanted to say, coming from
Name and,
I'm sorry.
name and where you live, if you're gonna start.
Again?
Yeah.
Kelly Deere, 306 South Eliza Street.
Okay.
Coming from a town that was a beautiful small town and had outsiders come in telling us we need to grow our city, grow our city, grow our city, and watch my city get destroyed while the outsiders kept saying we needed to grow it. It's heartbreaking to hear that word grow here because our city did fine as a small city and survived on tourism and encouraged the tourism with the little businesses and the cable car and Eagle Point Park. Now that we're growing our city, they've left our Eagle Point Park fall into disrepair, historical buildings being torn down. It's not necessarily always a good thing to grow your city. As far as I know, Maquoketa has been a beautiful little town for a long time. There have been improvements that I like to see here. My other thing was I had mentioned about the moratorium, and I never got an answer on that. Neither has there been discussion about that, having a moratorium put in place until people have more time to do research on either side. I'm asking.
I don't know, is this connected to the property we're talking about at 105 South Olive Street? Otherwise,
It can only be to that.
Yes.
Okay, I'll save it for next time then.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else?
This was, so you guys are thinking about putting a parking lot in there?
Well, right now, I mean, that would be the most effective use for it if we did, but it's ultimately, the idea is for development of some kind.
Like more than a parking lot, like you
Yes.
put something there, a building, like the city could.
Townhomes, I'm not gonna give you.
Somebody
'cause we
wants
don't-
it later on and the city could be like, hey, you guys wanna put this business in or this or that or anything like.
Development.
Yeah, okay.
Not a data center.
No, I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing about that. What I'm wondering though is, if you guys are deciding to put a parking lot and develop it and buy it and everything like that, what's the immediate return on investment there. We're gonna have to stick a bunch of money into it, right? You have to balance your budgets and everything else, like the gentleman over there said.
Well, we could ultimately leave as it is. We don't have to resurface it or whatever, but what good is that to the city?
The question now is whether we buy it or not.
Yes.
We don't buy it, somebody else will, and we'll lose that opportunity to develop it.
Well, I think everyone would agree that it's somewhat of an eyesore as it is, and so city buys it, and if we can turn it into something, it's going to be ideally better than it is right now, the way it looks.
So we can possibly profit off of it and put that out into our coffers as
I
well.
wouldn't say a profit, but we would probably sell it at what we paid for it if the right developer came along down the line. I mean, that's generally how it goes with those kind of opportunities.
Okay. Sounds
Kind
good to
of
me.
an
Thank you.
investment.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else? Yep, come on.
So, Elias Langley's 502 Shoreline Drive. As I was sitting there, I was thinking, I do believe in investing properties. Like my brother, he has means. He has more means than me. Good for him. He can take those means, he can invest in all sorts of rental properties, flipper homes, and he can take his wealth and build more wealth. My question is, are you saying, is Maquoketa a city of means? Is Maquoketa a city of wealth? Do we have enough wealth that we can take our wealth and build more wealth? Because if you're saying that, what Josh is saying is something different. Like those are not aligning. He's having conversations about potentially having to let staff go, and Maquoketa is having conversations about investing, building wealth, good real estate options. That's how rich people talk. Is Maquoketa rich?
You can have multiple conversations at the same time.
Yeah, of course.
And this is one of development. I'm not going to argue with you about it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you asked my opinion on that and I gave it to you.
Yep.
So we can have multiple conversations going about the same thing and different things at the same time. Yes, there is a potential down the road we would have to, based on the way the state is forcing the city's hands and stuff on taxing.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean we just automatically stop everything, because down the road this may happen. You look at that for that tax base, you look at this for the development. They're different conversations and they can all be had at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to be confrontational. I literally just am asking
That's how
questions.
it's just how you come across.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to be confrontational either. We're supposed to meet after this.
Yep.
But
I hope we still can.
every time something comes up, you have a different, we're meeting after. If you want to have that deeper conversation, then let's do that. I mean, multiple conversations can happen.
I'm sorry. I do have questions, and like a lot of that does tie into the data center, which I won't talk about right now, but like there does seem to be two different narratives going on in Maquoketa. And I seriously am trying to figure out how that works. Because again, second council meeting, never attended, never wanted to. I wish I don't have to ever come back. Thank you.
All right, is there anybody else?
Yep, I'm Chris from Otto Street, and if money from the town is burning a hole in everybody's pocket, then why don't we find some employers that want to hire some of the people in town or in Jackson County all around? Wouldn't that be a better investment instead of an empty parking lot?
All right, anybody else?
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Got a motion by Lyon and a second by Alinger to close the public hearing. If there's no discussion, take the roll.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Alinger.
Excuse me, I
Yes.
had my hand raised and I wasn't called. I'm sorry, but
All right, we'll give you the
other
opportunity to
people
speak.
spoke twice.
Lisa,
and I wasn't
Lisa,
called.
Mayor Tom said he'd allow you to speak. That's my error. I thought possibly that was left up from before in the Zoom meeting here. So go ahead.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I'd like my face shown. So can you please turn on the video?
There you go.
Thank you. Okay. I just wanted, it's tough. I have stuff going on and that's why I'm not there in person. But I just think that the gist of a lot of this is that we're not really feeling, I can see and I can hear the need for funds. But what I'm not seeing and what I'm not hearing is care and love for this town and its people. And I know that there are people who are very passionate and maybe they're not as polite and well spoken as they could be. A little bit of being upset is I think understandable. However, there are people here who love it here, love the way of life here.
Lisa,
And
could,
this is more
Lisa,
than just money.
Lisa,
I'm
could you
sorry?
talk about the parking lot and the purchase of this property?
Okay, yeah, I will. I don't think a parking lot should be considered economic development. That was my singular point, and thank you for rerouting me, because that's what I wanted to say. I don't think a parking lot should be considered economic development. And I was at that meeting the beginning of July, and there was plenty of parking outside. We parked outside, so you can't. So whoever said, and I think it was Mayor Tom, that there was a lot of parking out there. The parking was like the cars were all over the place. That was not true. That was not true. There was plenty of parking left. So I just don't think it's fair to characterize a parking lot as economic development. And I think that there should be a lot more care about our properties and about before you start bulldozing and knocking stuff down. I think there needs to be a little bit more care. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, anybody else?
Did we take the vote?
Oh, she started to take the roll.
What?
It's closed.
It's closed.
We'd really like to hear what she's got to say.
What? Speak up.
We'd really like to hear what she's got to say.
Did we finish the vote?
Mayor,
Did we finish?
continue on with the vote. We made a
Yeah.
decision to close it. Nicole's offering to shut down her comment voluntarily.
Right.
Let's continue on with the meeting and to go on with the vote, please.
Okay.
Bennett,
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Okay, closed. We move on to item 8, our consent agenda, which consists of the minutes from the July 20th, 2026 regular city council meeting, the minutes from the July 27th, 2026 special city council meeting, our bills payable through August 3rd, 2026 in the amount of $964,367.09, a new temporary outdoor alcohol license filed by the Fraternal Order of Eagles, the renewal of a Class C retail alcohol license filed by Carson Celebration of Life Center, a renewal of a special Class C retail alcohol license filed by Maquoketa Brewing, a renewal of a device license filed by Main Street Tobacco, and the renewal of a tobacco license filed by Page LLC, doing business as Main Street Tobacco, and a renewal of a Class C retail alcohol license filed by Quick Star, number 894.
What's a device license?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
I gotta admit, I'm not certain on this, but I imagine it's a tobacco vape. If you wish to carry it to the next agenda, you can and pull that off as an amended item. But this comes directly from the State of Iowa Alcohol and Tobacco Division. It comes to city staff when we just passed it along. We can inquire later if you wish.
I'll make a motion amending that it comes off for next meeting.
Second it.
Okay, we got a motion by Colister, seconded by Alinger to pull that item off of this agenda. Do we have any discussion? And take the roll.
Hayward,
Yes.
Rickrell,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Okay, we move back to our regular consent agenda. Do we get a motion to approve this agenda minus the vape thing?
I think we just did that, Mayor.
Oh, we did it pass?
Yes.
I didn't think we got all the way through the roll call.
You good, Jamie?
We did, yep.
Okay.
Okay, good enough then. All right, we make it to old business, and it is an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Maquoketa, Iowa by amending boards and commissions requirements pertaining to operating procedures. And this is the first reading.
I'd like to make a motion to table this and move it to Public Works, so we can have a discussion with MMEU on the request.
Do we have a second to that? Yes, dies for lack of a second. Do we have a motion to approve the ordinance? We got to do something here.
What are you looking at me like that for, Carol? What's the question?
Because I'm somewhat confused. I thought we needed it. We tabled this from the last meeting to get an answer.
Yeah, I
Did
wasn't
the
here.
answer
This-
ever occur?
Well, yeah, he does not live in the limits, but I wanted to have a discussion with MMEU on why they're requesting this specifically. So that's why I requested to come back to
Because he's
Public
moving
Works.
out of town.
Yeah, but are they looking? Do they have another member? I mean, I don't care. I just wanted to have the discussion with MMEU.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I was confused, sorry. And I still sort of am.
It's an odd request to me, and I want to have deeper discussion on why and what's going on with this. To me, it's crazy. Like, that this came, like I said, the timing's goofy to me.
It
but-
was simply because they purchased a house out of
Yeah.
town. The gentleman who's on the board.
So why don't we just go ahead and deny it?
You can deny it, you could let it die, I guess.
And I agree with some comments that were made earlier, right? If no one should be setting electric rates that doesn't pay the electricity bill in this town, so to me, it's,
Exactly. That's what we wanted to find out from the last meeting, why we moved to table this for now to find out. If that person doesn't live within the zone,
Thank you.
then
That's
they
what my
shouldn't be making any.
I wasn't
vote-
here.
it shouldn't
I'm
be-
just
I know,
saying
but-
what I know.
That was the whole thing.
Right.
They shouldn't be making rules
Decisions.
that they don't have to live by.
I believe they made the request. I had somebody reach out to me. The individual that serves on the board has served for a few terms, provides reliable, useful financial knowledge. They bring a lot to the table. And so I think in this scenario, that they will be a board member that will be sorely missed. And I think that is why they are bringing it to city council, just because they will be a tough individual to replace. However, given the moving out of the city problem,
Well, and
that's,
it's not necessarily the moving out of the city. I believe it was moving out of the area where MMEU
Yes.
So they're not in
serves.
the service area?
correct.
They're not within the service area, and I think that was Dick's
That-
original.
So that produces its own set of problems, of course, but I think they probably brought it to council because it will be somebody that is hard to replace,
Correct.
if I had to guess.
And our airport commission recently changed the ordinance to allow someone other than those inside town to be on the board, but they are a Jackson County member.
Right.
But, yeah, so it was just a reflection of doing that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
okay, where are we?
just move on to the next.
we'll move on to the crisis dies for lack of support.
Yep. So A dies because of lack of motion. Second, correct, Mayor?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, I lost where we were.
B.
B's just part of A, right?
It's part of
Yeah,
A,
B,
yeah.
okay.
So that would-
An ordinance, item B is an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Maquoketa, Iowa by amending terms of office requirements pertaining to the Utility Board of Trustees. First reading.
No further comment from staff.
Okay. We have no motion. It dies for lack of a motion. We move on. New business, a resolution approving the purchase of real estate from United Church of Christ in Jackson County, Iowa, generally described as parcel number 145181930200100 and 145181930200200 in the amount of $62,500.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Colister, seconded by Lyon. Any discussion here? And take the roll.
Hayward,
Yes.
Rickrell,
No.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that just passes. Item B is a resolution approving the proposed purchase of real estate from Cornell Properties LLC in Jackson County, Iowa, generally described as parcel number 145181930200500 in the total amount of $42,500.
So moved.
Motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Lyon. Any discussion here? And take the roll.
Rickrell,
No.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Hayward.
Yes.
Okay, that just passes too. We move on now to reports and commissions. Any communications, anything from any of the council members? City manager?
On Thursday night, we have our Paul Brune Historic Revitalization Grant Public Informational Seminar. That's a $750,000 grant from the National Park Service for a local program here for any historic registered property in city limits. There's 33 of those, excluding properties that would even be inside of historic zones such as the commercial district on Main Street. So we're looking forward to finally releasing those applications, and our chosen architect and myself and Christina Schneider will give a broad overview to people who have a historic property and may be interested in this grant program. So there's been a lot of questions throughout the year about when we can finally get this going, and we are this week, so I'm excited. Second, and probably more pressing and in the minds of people, is it's a major construction week. Summit and Niagara shut down for a week, which is quite the inconvenience. And second, Eddy Place in Erie is due to have concrete on their streets this week. I have a tough time believing it as is, but they say it's coming on Wednesday. But that's gonna generate a lot of interest and attention. It's one large pour, I believe, on some version of a large slip form type machine. I'm interested in seeing it myself, but that area of town around Sacred Heart, Erie, Eddy is going to be a complete mess. So if people can avoid the area and give workers and cement trucks a space, it'll be much, much appreciated.
Okay. If we have nothing else, I'd take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Colister. Seconded by Rickrell. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Okay.
We're adjourned.